Winter is upon us, my friends. And if you're like me, that means you're out hunting and not making YouTube videos. Sorry about that, guys, it's priorities. But as I promised, here's my video of the Benjamin Discovery air rifle. A lot of guys want to know how to get in the game. They see me out having fun with pre-charged pneumatic rifles that cost as much as $2,500, and obviously not everyone can afford that. Heck, I couldn't afford that until just recently. Which brings me to an important point. A lot of guys want to know if I'm rich. Everyone wants to know what I do for a living. I know, I'm not rich. I make a middle-class income, but what I am good at is managing my money. And I was taught that at a very young age, so thanks, Mom. Now, when I was 25 years old, it took me 4 months to save up $165 for my Remington 597-22 so I can go rabbit hunting with my buddies from work. So no, I'm not rich. I'm just old. But the point, this air rifle, right? That's what we're here to talk about. The Benjamin Discovery is Crosman's entry-level pre-charged pneumatic. First off, number one thing that needs to be said, the fill pressure on this gun is 2,000 PSI, and it shoots down to around 1,200 or 1,000 PSI. Now what that means is, it is very, very easy to pump. All the pre-charged pneumatics you've seen on my channel thus far have been 3,000 or higher PSI fills. To pump that with a hand pump would be exhausting, to say the least. Pumping a gun to 2,000 PSI versus 3,000 PSI is night and day. And trying to pump one of these guns to 3,500, 4,000 PSI is not even possible. You need to have an external air source, which means you need to spend more money, considerable more money. The beauty of this platform is that I can fill it with a hand pump, and I can fill it pretty easily. Heck, look, a 3-year-old can do it. Okay, that's an exaggeration. My daughter can't fill my PCP. But a 10-year-old, I would say no problem. So if you're old enough to hunt, you're probably strong enough to easily pump this gun up. And at an energy of about 22 to 25 foot-pounds of energy, it takes around 2 pumps per shot. And it's never been a mystery to you guys that I like pre-charged pneumatics. The truth is, I'm just not that good with springers, and to shoot a springer well takes a lot of practice. To shoot this well, doesn't take much practice at all. Crosshairs on target, pull the trigger. Now the trigger isn't the greatest in the world. Let me show it to you. Cocking mechanism is a little rough compared to some of the ones I've used, but it certainly works just fine. And your trigger's around 3 or 4 pounds. And you probably heard that crack. The gun does have a decent muzzle report because it's not shrouded. But there's a fix for that. And it comes in the form of the TKO muzzle brake. Now what this is a sturdy carbon fiber tube with baffling on the inside of it. So you might have already noticed that I actually have the open sights off the gun now. They unscrew here and here. And the reason I did that is because I plan on using a scope. So you just go one step further, and with a couple Allen keys, you take this off, put this on. Now one thing you need to note is, to have this fit over the end here, the dust cap for the fill probe needs to come off. The boys at TKO do give you some instructions of how to mill this out so it actually, fits on there. And a lot of guys have done that. I haven't done it yet. I plan to do it. For around 50 bones, you just made your Discovery go from this to this. The gun goes from not being backyard friendly at all to being incredibly backyard friendly. Now obviously that comes at the price of adding some inches to your muzzle. That said, it's really important to note that to get this kind of silencing performance in another gun, you're gonna have to step up to the Benjamin Marauder. And now we have a 3,000 PSI fill, now we have a much heavier gun. There's a lot of other things to consider when taking that step. You're probably gonna wind up wanting a external air source. I'm trying to keep this simple. And the TKO muzzle brake is a godsend for guys who want to keep it simple, keep the hand pump, and still get the silencing benefits of these much more expensive, much bigger, much higher fill PSI guns. So my goal all along was to keep the whole price of everything, pump, gun, scope, moderator, everything, under 500 bones. And the easy way to do that is to simply buy the package that Crosman has all together. That includes the pump, gun, and scope. It's this scope, though, that they bundle it with. That runs around 420 bones. However, if you use that bundle, you cannot use my coupon code for 15% off. So you'll see that the price on just the gun and pumps is around 400 bucks, and for 20 bucks more, you get to put a scope on it. Now, it's not what I would recommend, and it isn't because I want you to use my coupon code. If my coupon code didn't give me any damn money, I'd still make this recommendation. And this is it. The scope that it bundles with doesn't have a very good field of view. Now, granted, it's an inexpensive scope. I think it retails for around 60, 70 bucks. That said, if you just up your money a little bit, 40, 50 bucks, you can get a much, much better scope. Now, this is a Hawk Air Max on top of here. Both these scopes are 3 to 9 power, but look at the image through the center point scope versus the Hawk scope. Look how much more you can see with this scope. Field of view is a massive thing to consider when you want a hunting scope. If you're just target shooting, go ahead and get the bundle with this thing. But if you're out trying to get squirrels and rabbits, I highly recommend upgrading your scope. This is a Hawk Air Max scope. I do like it a lot. I also forgot to mention that the Hawk scope is adjustable objective, and that can make a big difference for range estimation. For me, 100-yard parallax scopes used to be just fine, until I tried an adjustable objective. Now there's no going back. If your budget is super tight, go ahead and go with this one. If you got a few more bucks to spend, upgrade your scope, because I got a hunch that if you get this one, you're gonna want this one within a year. All right, now on to the important part, accuracy. Now I know you're hoping for what I was hoping for when I got my first PCP. Everyone who buys an inexpensive gun has the dream, and we've all done it. The dream of having your inexpensive rifle and out shooting guys who spend 5, 6, 10 times more than you. And I hate to be the one to break your fairy tale, but it's just not gonna happen. So are you gonna be able to keep up with these? Well, I certainly hope not, or we're all wasting our money on these really high-end stuff. That said, this little baby is pretty dang good. What can you expect? I think inch groups at 50 yards is certainly within a reasonable expectation of this gun. So here's a look at how I did at the range with a red and blue tin can of Crosman Premiers. I'd say this is an average target for this gun. I did try about 10, 15 different pellets. I did like the Premier the best, and that's really not such a big surprise because in my experience, Crosman guns shoot Crosman ammo very well. The hardwood stock is sturdy, it's thick. I had no issue mounting a swivel stud in the bottom there. I'll probably mount another one right here for a shoulder strap because the gun can be carried in the field all day. Seriously, this is as light as PCPs come. This thing weighs nothing. And to give you some perspective, here's a Benjamin Trail, here's a Benjamin Discovery. Even with the TKO muzzle brake on here, it's only about an inch longer than the Trail, and it comes in at a whole heck of a lot lighter. I think this package is around 10, 11 pounds. This one feels like about 6 or 7. And this package would have 50% more energy than that Trail and a heck of a lot more accuracy. So, down below I'll provide links to use my coupon code or to not use my coupon code. Whoa! Freaking awesome when a Northern Harrier goes tearing right through your studio. So, total price for the whole kit, including the means to charge it, including the silencer, including the scope, is around 500 bones. It's simple, it's easy, and it just works. Out of box, it works. And when you're just starting out in the hobby, easy is worth its weight in gold. Or in this case, $500. As always, boys and girls, appreciate you watching. See you at the next video. Still watching? Well then here's the biggest surprise. I'm giving this away. Details will be on my website, tedsholdover.com. No, that's not a ploy to get you to my website. What it rather is I have a suspicion that YouTube would pop a gasket if I gave away a rifle through their site. The winner of this giveaway will get the gun, the pump, the Hawk scope, the TKO muzzle brake, the whole works. Crosman, I know you were expecting to get this back. Send me the bill. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for helping support my channel. Merry Christmas.